Welcome back to Go. It's 5:11. Now, if you're a nervous flyer, this year probably really hasn't done anything to quell your fears. From a plane door falling off in January to an emergency slide plummeting to the ground in April to a wheel dropping off just this month, we really understand why you don't want to get up in a plane.
Yeah, so I got the chance to talk to an expert to learn about just how risky it actually is to fly. So something people may have noticed, these headline-making incidents we just mentioned, they all happened on Boeing planes. So I spoke with Dr. Shawn Pruchnicki, an assistant professor at OSU's Center for Aviation Studies and Integrated Systems Engineering. In his opinion, Boeing is eroding the safety margin, but he says there are a lot of other factors in play that are contributing to the incidents that we have seen this year. For example, social media. He says some of these problems have been happening all along. He saw issues during his decade-long career as a pilot, but now everything is documented and shared online. Similarly, he says media outlets can now listen to air traffic control, gaining more visibility into what's happening. But he says a big factor here is how Boeing is building planes.
The airplanes they have built over the last few years and the problems we have found and those methods absolutely do not conform to the standards of manufacturing airplanes. Those are being corrected, and that's why so many people are involved. The FAA, experts like myself, National Transportation Safety Board, and many others.
But before you put all of the blame on Boeing here, another factor he brought up is age. He says it's like a car, right? If you drive it long enough, you'll probably run into some issues, need some maintenance. And he says many of these planes are older. So you really have to wait for the investigators to do their thing, do their work before we really point the finger and play the blame game here.
Yeah, because that's the first thing we all naturally, you want to point the finger at someone. So really, what is he saying about how should people really feel when it comes to traveling in the air?
Yeah, I asked him, should people be nervous? And actually, when I did this interview, he'd actually just been on a flight the day before we did the interview.
Okay.
So clearly, he is not stopping flying. He says we should not stop flying either. Is he aware these things are happening? Yes, but he says there are redundancies built into planes for safety, and he says the accident rate in the U.S. is actually one of the lowest in the world. According to the International Air Transport Association's safety report, there was an average of one accident for every 880,293 flights last year, with the industry as a whole improving its safety performance over the last decade by 61%. So clearly a lot of progress being made here. He says there are so many factors at play to take into account. But he says overall, could it be on your head? Yes.
Yeah.
But it's still safe to fly.
It's still, and I like to fly.
Me too.
I love flying. I enjoy it. So, I just say a little prayer and let's get up in the air.
Let's go.
Oh, that rhymed. I didn't even try to do that.
A little prayer up in the air.
There you go, Matt.
Very nice.
I didn't even realize it just came out that way.
That's usually how you talk in poems, and very good. We need a second verse for that, though. We can make it.
I'm working on it. Working on it. Yeah.
Like the Rapidan Dam. Anyway, don't need to bring the viewers into that one. All right.